Hi, my name is Timo. I'm 37 years old. I live in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, and I work for GGZ Delftland, which is a mental health organization. This is my WRAP Advanced Level Facilitators application video, and I'm going to talk about the WRAP training, the 5 key concepts, the wellness toolbox, and the several action plans. First off, WRAP stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan. It is an evidence-based training developed by Marianne Copeland in 1997. The goals of WRAP are preventing or decreasing troubling thoughts or behaviors, increasing personal choice, improving quality of your life, and achieving personal goals, dreams, and ambitions. Participants of WRAP get this folder. The WRAP consists of 8 meetings from 2.5 hours where the facilitators and the participants can talk about the contents of the WRAP, do exercises, but we also encourage participants to write things down in this folder. I'm going to tell you about the 5 key concepts. They are hope, personal responsibility, education, self-advocacy, and support. First off, hope. We ask participants what hope means for them, and what gives them hope, and what deprives them of hope. For me personally, hope is the belief that things will or can get better. Love and support gives me hope. And making steps in recovery, even though small, gives me hope. Personal responsibility is about, in mental health, it often is about taking back control of things, being responsible for your own well-being. And we ask participants, participants can write down in what ways they are responsible for their well-being, or in what ways they can be responsible for their well-being. I have been hospitalized twice when I was 19 and 20. Fortunately for me, a long time ago. But back then I had to accept that I was vulnerable for mental health issues. And I needed to take action to change some things in my life. I realized sleep was very important for me, but also I needed to take medication. At the moment, in this stage of my life, personal responsibility means living an active and healthy life and trying to support others around me. Education. Or in Dutch, eigen ontwikkeling, which means personal growth. It is partly about knowing yourself. Participants can write down who they are actually, what they like, what do they like, what are their hobbies, what are their positive personality traits, what roles do they have, what is their connection with their environment. And they can write about their dreams and ambitions, their goals, and how they plan to achieve those goals. I like to write in my spare time. I'm writing a novel, and I hope I can finish it. It's a dream or a goal of me to finish it, to be proud of it, and I hope to get it published. To reach that goal, I've written down in my personal WRAP. I try to write at least 2 or 3 times a week. I joined the Writers Guild and I read a lot to help me achieve this goal. Okay, self-advocacy is about expressing yourself, standing up for yourself when dealing with others. The WRAP has a Bill of Rights. It's a list of things you have the right to. For example, these are in Dutch, sorry. Ik heb het recht te vragen wat ik wil. Ik heb het recht om nee te zeggen op een verzoek waar ik niet aan kan voldoen. Ik heb het recht om van gedachten te veranderen. And so on. Participants are asked what they can do to stand up for themselves. I like to do every day something for myself that I enjoy, or maybe just relax. But I like to have at least half an hour for myself each day. And at work, I try to take regular short breaks or plan small moments of administration to make things less stressful. The fifth and last one is support. I think is a big one for me. Back when I was hospitalized, I had my 2 crises. My family was of a big support, my family and friends, especially my parents and my little brother, with whom I lived. They were very kind, helpful, supportive. They tried to push me a little bit. I was at that time kind of down. I didn't have much energy. I was looking for ways to get on with my life, and they were supportive. They tried to motivate me, to push me a bit sometimes, but they were also patient. They knew that recovery can take a long time. I'm still grateful for their support now. Participants can write in the WRAP folder who their supporters are, what qualities they find important for a supporter, and to whom they are of support themselves, who they support themselves. Those were the 5 key concepts of the WRAP. Which brings me to the Wellness Toolbox. The Wellness Toolbox is not an actual toolbox. It is a list you write down with things that you can do to make you feel better, or a little bit better. You can think of things you do outside, you do inside, things you can do by yourself, things you can do with others. I'm going to give some examples, some personal examples. Oh, by the way, the WRAP, all parts of the WRAP are always personal. What you write down is about what works for you. So I wrote, I like to walk outside. I like to be outside in general. When I'm stressed, I like to run. I like to read, to write. I love watching movies, television. I like music. It makes me feel good to paint, to draw. There are a lot of things I like, fortunately. It is important to write down things that are simple, safe, and accessible, easy to use, and if possible, cheap. So they are things you can do whenever you need to feel a little bit better, things that you can actually do. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the action plans of the WRAP. There are a few sections. You have the daily plan, stressors, early warning signs, when things are breaking down, a crisis plan, and the post-crisis plan. First off, the daily plan. It consists of 3 parts. You write how you are when you're feeling well, and then you write what you can do every day for your own well-being. And these can be things you like, things from the toolbox, but also things you don't really like, but they do help, and they do help to make you feel well and stay well. For example, this can be things like self-care, brushing your teeth, showering, shaving. Can be taking medication. For me, it is important to go outside every day, for a little while at least, having social interaction every day. Um, like I said earlier, I like to have a moment for myself every day. The third part is things you can do sometimes. So you don't have to do them every day, but you need to do them once in a week, or maybe a larger amount of time, but once in a while. Things like administration, doing chores in the house, or, for example, visiting relatives. In the part stressors, we write down what the things are that make us feel stressed, things that can throw us off track. Um, for me, it is lack of sleep, which is also a sign, by the way. Love can be a stressor. A big one for me is vacation. Um, and you have big and small stresses. The death of someone close is a huge stressor, but there are also small stresses, like a conflict you're in, or you're witnessing. Um, a colleague of mine has a good example. He always says a stressor for him is if there's a big line in the grocery store, in the supermarket, um, and things are taking very long, it's a stressor for him. So it can be small things and big things. When you have written down those stressors, you also write down an action plan. So if a stressor occurs, you write down what will you do, what's the plan. I mentioned vacation is a stressor for me. It helps if I plan it thoroughly, if I travel with someone I trust, if I don't travel at night or early in the morning, if I know who to contact in case of an emergency, if I know if there are hospitals or doctors around, things like that. Early warning signs. These are things, small changes in the way you feel, in the way you act, signs that things are not going great. And there's no need to panic, but yeah, it could be better. I'd like to think normally I'm kind of relaxed and a good company. But when these things occur, my signs are I get a bit cranky, I can get agitated, I can get mad fast or upset faster, and I sleep less and I eat less, or at least I'm less hungry. And if you know these signs, you can also write down an action plan if these signs occur. Avoiding stress for me. So that can mean maybe tell my boss, work a little less, or cancel some plans in the weekend. Use tools from my toolbox to make me feel better. Yeah, and also important, make sure I sleep enough. When things are breaking down, yeah, it is possible that a crisis is in the near future. And with these signs, it really is possible to act and to act fast. For me, it is not sleeping, being very chaotic, being confused, being tense. My self-care gets poor. I don't, well, I sleep for very short periods of time or not at all, and I avoid contact with people. If these things occur, I have some things written down what to do then. When I'm very chaotic, it helps being around people who are structured, to live with them for a short period of time. So I have the same structure in when I eat, when I sleep, etc. For me, it is important to sleep well, so I try to be active during the day, exercise, go outside, and at night I really try to sleep. And if I can't sleep, I can use sleep medication. The next part is the crisis plan. This one is a little bit different because you write a document for someone else. A document you can give to one of your supporters so that they know how they can help in times of crisis, what they can do to support you, and they know your preferences. And by thinking about this in advance and giving it to someone else, you still have some control. It consists of 9 parts. You write down firstly what you, how you look like when you feel well. You write the signs that there is a crisis and others should take over. You write down who those others are, who your supporters are. There's a part about medication, what you use, about treatments you've used in the past, or you would like, about what you can do to avoid hospitalization, where you want to be hospitalized, if needs to be. You write down about your supporters, what they can do, what they shouldn't do. And the final one is about the signs when the crisis is over. So the crisis plan is no longer needed, how they can see that. For me, for example, mostly I tell them if I can play a game of chess, things are kind of okay. Because then I can sit down, I can focus, I can concentrate, I have to think. I don't have to play a great game of chess, but if I can take the time and play chess with someone, it is a good sign. Participants who completed this part, the crisis plan, we do encourage them. We think it is best to share it with someone, with a supporter. Let them read it and sign it so they know what to do. And they can hear. Okay, the final part I'm going to talk about is the post-crisis plan. It is the plan after the crisis, when the crisis is over and things are getting back to normal. And usually that means easing back into responsibilities. It also can mean you have some people to apologize to, or you can think about if there are people you want to thank for their support. It can also be a time of evaluation, thinking about are there things you need to change in your rep. Those are the main parts of the rep. There are recovery topics like confidence, self-worth, peer support, lifestyle, and several others. I'm not going to talk about those now, but they are spread throughout the training, throughout the 8 meetings. Okay, I guess that was it. Thanks for listening. Sorry for my English, and take care.